Hi everyone, welcome to this week's garden update, which is actually going to be the very last one for winter 2021, because when I see you again next Friday, I cannot even believe I'm saying this, it's going to be spring. So what we're going to do now is have a quick whip around the garden, check it out before it really starts to take off for this season ahead. Okay, let's go do this. It has been an eventful few days here in the garden. There have been some strong winds, and I think it was either on Monday or Tuesday night we had this massive storm, and unfortunately there has been some garden casualties, one of them being this beautiful Australian native wattle. You can see here that its main trunk has snapped, unfortunately. I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in here and saw off this piece. Yes, the main trunk will be gone, but the good news is that I have quite a few of these side branches here. I think there's at least 3 or 4 of them. You can see there's a lovely nice large one there. So it's not a complete goner. I guess once this whole section is gone, it will open up the view up towards the house. I had this archway collapse on me. This is the one that had the jasmine growing on it and my rose bush, which I planted. Oh, look at that, I haven't even deadheaded that one. I planted this a couple of years ago now, and the jasmine is over here, still attached to the archway, and it's even just starting to flower, which is awesome. But you know what? It's collapsed. I honestly would expect this to happen because I've just used a very cheap arch, and that's what you get when you don't invest properly in your structures in the garden. So this will be taken out. I'll probably still be able to save all of this beautiful jasmine, tie it up maybe onto some other kind of trellis. The final casualty of the storm is this huge beautiful Grevillea robusta. We've already had an arborist come out today. He had to remove one of the huge branches that had snapped off and was just dangling there. Autumn is standing in what was once my kids' sandpit, and they've grown out of it now. So what I've been doing as I've been pruning and pulling out plants in this area is I've been just chucking them all into this space, and I am thinking this summertime I might convert it into a little mini raised bed cut flower garden. Speaking of toys, this swing set is coming to the end of its use here in our garden. My children aren't really playing with it much anymore. We may be better off just removing it completely. It's just taking up a bit of space and it's just kind of dormant sitting there. But I was thinking, instead of just chucking it out, what I could do is convert it into some kind of structure that I could put some climbing plants up it during summertime, like maybe beans, pumpkins, not sure yet. The other thing I wanted to point out is look at all the oranges. I did come in here last week and pick up all the ones that I'd found, and these have just dropped in the last couple of days. They really are starting to ripen, and I need to get on top of harvesting them and processing them. I know it's not much to look at, but I'm really loving this little fire pit at the moment. It's providing a lot of entertainment for my kids. We actually had it on a few days ago when we were having a kind of bit of a downer day. Put it on. There was a few arguments to start off with getting it lit, but once we had it going, it was fun, and I think we enjoyed ourselves, and you know, we made the most of being stuck at home. Here by the side of the house I have a few trays full of pots which contain lilies. You can see some of them sprouting through the soil. And the reason why I have them in these pots is because the garden beds that they will be going into are not quite ready yet to be planted out. Here are some Gladioli corms, and similar to the lilies, I don't have the areas in the garden ready to plant these out at the moment, so I'm getting them pre-sprouted in these little trays. So I just rest them on top, and they've been here now for a couple of weeks. Let's wiggle this one out and see if it's got any new shoots. Oh, there you go. See the white shoots coming out? So that's just getting them started before they're ready to pop out into the beds. Over in this area beside the compost pile, I ended up planting out those Brassicas seedlings that I had in pots for weeks and weeks. I finally put them into the ground. I think I may have left putting these in the ground way too late, because brassicas like these cauliflower and broccoli are a cold weather crop, and we are only days away from spring, and spring here in this part of New South Wales can get very hot very quickly, so I'm not sure if the growing season is going to be long enough for them to form their heads. It's really starting to fill out here over in the raised garden bed area. Look what I just spotted. This is the first Ranunculus flower bud. I just found this one too. I've also got smaller Ranunculus plants that are just popping through the soil in this tray, and another one, as far as I can remember, actually popped some of these out yesterday and put them into some containers. I know it doesn't look great at the moment, and you may be even thinking, why haven't I pulled this plant out yet? Let me explain. It's a black-eyed Susan vine which I planted last springtime, and although I know it's a perennial, I really didn't think it would survive here during our winter time, but I thought, why not give it a shot? So I just left it in this pot, and I'm pleased to say that it's starting to green up more now. I know it's not much to look at, but it really is. It's put on some fresh growth. And even like over in this section, I noticed all of these brand new flowers the other day. My hope is that now this plant is coming into its second year, it will be a lot more vigorous, and crossing my fingers, it will come all the way up here and completely cover this entryway. Here I have about 4 or 5 big clumps of lemon balm which I dug out from the front of the raised garden bed area. Although I do love this plant, it really is very similar to mint. It can just take over the place. Originally I only had a little patch in here that I started a couple of years ago, and I really this year don't want this whole drift to be full of the lemon balm. I want to have it more colourful. I'm thinking more annuals, some of those really hardy drought tolerant ones, like maybe some little dwarf zinnias. With this lot here, I'll probably just give it away because I have lots more of it growing in other areas of the garden. So yeah, I'll probably look at it. I'll just give it away. There's so much of it. Oh my goodness. I'm ploughing along with my seedlings, trying to do a little bit every day so I don't get overwhelmed. As well as sowing seeds, I tried to pick a few containers that are ready to pot on, like the salvia tricolour, and I just pop them into these little cell trays. I've got a couple of statice, larkspur, and there's the salvia tricolour. And you know what? I had this filled up, every single cell filled up with a seedling, and 2 of them have disappeared already. And I know I've said it so many times, but really this is a top tip as a gardener. Always sow more seeds than you think you will need, because stuff like this happens all the time. Pest damage, or they just don't generally survive transplanting. So now, today, I'll pick out 2 more of these to replace the empty ones. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end. I hope you enjoyed this week's garden update, and please, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share if you think any of your friends may be interested in it. Well, until next Friday, thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.